then this exercise will be good for loading the glutes.
I am Groot.
Hello my strong friends. In today's video, we are discussing an alternative stance to your squats, deadlifts, hip thrusts, and more. So whether you're a narrow squatter or a max width sumo puller, your stance plays a huge role in which muscles are contracted and engaged throughout your lifts. So we'll actually be taking a look at the B stance. This is an underappreciated way to lift, but a great way to build some unilateral strength that still has a really high carryover to your main lifts. If you guys are new here, then hello, my name is Meg and I'm a certified fitness trainer, I'm a power lifter, and I make videos about getting super strong and helping you lift better so that you can get bigger. I post videos every single Friday, so if you want to see more of them, then make sure to subscribe to my channel. And if you guys like this video, and if you like my new setup, please do give this video a like so that I know. We're trying something new, we're trying like filming at a nice place. It's pretty cool. Ryan's behind the camera though still. We haven't hired any help. Can't afford it. Oh! Ooh, do the blue. So first of all, we'll talk about what the frick is the B stance and why you should be using it. The B stance is really simple. It's basically a staggered stance where your big toe of the back leg is even with the heel on your front leg. B stance is comparable to single leg or split leg variations, but instead of one leg going at it alone, the back leg is there for some support and extra balance. The B stance can be used by any athlete, so definitely give it a try if you're anywhere from a general gym lifter or if you're training for strength as an athlete like a basketball player. It has excellent carryover to athletic movement since sports require weight transfer and weight distribution from one leg to another. So you can think of a sprinter or a football player. Strength and power athletes all rely heavily on the glutes for some explosive movements, yet they're rarely exerting force from a stationary or symmetrical position the way a regular squat, deadlift, or hip thrust would train them. So essentially, movements incorporating a B stance help bring some balance and symmetrical training benefits similar to unilateral exercises with greater carryover to our main lifts because they're more similar, you have more similar loading pattern, and you leave out the balance constraints that the true isolation variations like the single leg variations really bring. Next, let's look at some of our favorite movements that can be used with a B stance. We've got the squat, the deadlift, and the hip thrust. Those are the three compound exercises that we'll be covering in this video, and in my opinion, those are the best for overall strength and hypertrophy of the posterior chain. All right, guys, I'm gonna teach you how to hip thrust with the B stance now. As your normal hip thrust would be set up on your bench, or if you have something more fancy than a bench, then do that. You wanna make sure that you're kind of locking from your sternum up, like locking this so that you're looking straight forward. Chin is down but in a comfortable position, and you're only moving from there. I used to like use this as a way to hinge, and I'd be like moving my chin up and staring at the ceiling. You actually want to try and lock all of that in so that the only thing moving is your lower body. So from the bench down, you're moving. For the B stance, the modifications that you're going to make are moving, of course. You okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna just come give you a little more love right here.
Oh, thank you. Hello there. Adjustment that you want to make this a B stance lift are, of course, to line up your heel with your dominant foot toe this time. So it's a little bit different than the squat. And as we come up, we're keeping most of our weight in our flat foot, so in our foot that has a 90-degree angle, in our leg that has a 90-degree angle. This is similar to the single leg, but the problem with the single leg hip thrust, I find, is that it's really easy to get your hamstrings involved and targeted, and also it's hard to load it really high. It's hard to load with the barbell on. Almost impossible to have a barbell in your lap when you're doing the single leg. So if you wanted to do a unilateral version of a heavy hip thrust, then I'd recommend doing the B stance. So let's put my barbell on my hip, B's. A little bit awkward because I don't have plates on this. We're just gonna get ourselves in our position, locked in. One of our feet at full extension will be 90 degrees, about it. And then the other one, the toes will be floating, the heel will be down. This is our glute that's working. And we've got our B stance lift. Your B stance foot is just making sure that you're stable and the barbell is even. Woo! That's hard. Of course, you guys know that squats are king or queen. Squats are queen in my book, although as my name suggests, I may have some bias. So the B stance allows for a little bit more freedom so that you can move, basically so that you can squat deeper. So especially if ankle mobility is a limiting factor, a B stance might help with your depth. The B stance can be used for front or back squats, depending on what areas you're trying to target the most. I'll talk about this a little bit in the conclusion of this video, but you can imagine if you're constrained to only lifting a certain amount of weight or you aren't feeling your best, you can overload the movement with a single leg or a B stance squat because you get more kind of bang for your buck at a lower weight. All right, you guys, I'm gonna show you with a live demo from yours truly how to do the B stance. So basically, like I mentioned, you'll want to just stagger your stance. So I'm gonna be squatting with my left foot here. That's where all of my weight is going to be. Lining up my back toe with my predominant foot heel. Just a moderate, maybe slightly outside of shoulder width. And I'm just gonna squat like normal, but most of my weight is going to be on this front foot. Squatting down as I would normally, you'll feel a slightly off balance, but you have this foot down to help your balance, to use it as sort of like a kickstand is a nice way to think about it. So a couple of easy reps here. That's it. That's your B stance squat.
Can you show me some B stance barbell curls?
Yep.
And how many reps per side would you do in each position?
100.
Okay.
Okay. Next, we're gonna touch on the B stance Romanian deadlifts, or the RDLs. Now, I'm gonna explain this to the RDL because I think it'll be a little bit better of a movement to incorporate the B stance than a deadlift, but you could definitely do B stance deadlifts. I just think you'd have a better time and get more out of doing these with higher rep RDLs. You can actually use a barbell for these, dumbbells, or a single kettlebell, and I'm gonna show you guys how to do each one. This one is most similar to the split stance variation. We'll often program single leg RDLs because they are a great way to really focus in on your posterior chain development. So if I were to program in single leg RDLs, they would look something like this. As you can see, if you're not super coordinated and really balanced, those are really difficult to do. Also, one thing that holds us back from those, I might as well just curl it out, is that you have a hard time overloading that movement. So you can go a lot heavier whenever you have this sort of kickstand. So this means I can do more weight. I could load up a barbell super heavy, or I could do a kettlebell variation also heavy. Same instruction with this one. You're simply just staggering your stance and focusing your body weight on one particular leg at a time. Is that it? The RDL targets many of the same muscles as a conventional deadlift, but really emphasizes the loading of the hamstrings and the glutes. So you might not be able to go as deep as you could with the B stance variation. So always ensure you have good positioning and you don't get greedy with your range of motion. Adding a new variation allows for a new movement pattern, which can help develop stability and build a more well-rounded, balanced body. At the same time, however, too much variety means we never give ourselves the chance to establish a baseline and actually build and improve on that which is the primary driver of both strength and muscle growth. So if you start to incorporate B stance and you want to try it out, just keep in mind that the only way you'll be able to really progress is that if you have some frequency with it. And to add to this, the B stance is what we would call an athletic position. When was the last time you were perfectly bilateral when you were out and about being athletic? So when you're playing basketball, you're rarely in this position, I guess, unless you're about to try and catch a rebound, which I rarely did. Keep that in mind, that it is good to incorporate unilateral movements so that you're working on your athleticism, if you're training for a different sport, and you're just creating a well-balanced, completely super strong body. We're gonna be all right, yeah. The other great thing about the staggered stance is that you can get a greater stimulus. The other great thing about the staggered stance is that you can get a greater stimulus with much lighter loads, like I talked about earlier in the video. So that means you're performing more relative work with less absolute load. That sounds good to me, especially during hypertrophy phases. So it means you can get more out of lower intensities, which might be a good strategy if you're feeling really fatigued, or if you're on a deload, and so on. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And if you try the B stance, then tag me on Instagram. You can tag me at Meg Squats or tag Strong Friends. We repost you guys when you're showing us the lifts. And of course, if you're lost on what to do for your workouts and how to train, then you need to join my program Stronger by the Day. We recommend it for lifters who feel comfortable with a barbell, and I'm assuming if you got through this entire video, that's probably you. So if you wanna get strong, you wanna get jacked, click the link in my description so that you can join. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you like this video, then please do give the video a like so that I know to make more. And if you're new here, then subscribe to my channel. I post videos every single Friday. Buckets. Who's your favorite basketball player? Ovi from Love Island.
B stance? No. That's not gonna make it in the video.